Galactic Biology 101 was supposed to be an easy credit. That's what they told me when I, Sam Carter, signed up to be humanity's first ever exchange student at the prestigious Intergalactic Academy. It's just a basic overview of species from around the galaxy, they said. Simple enough. What they didn't tell me was that I'd be the only human in a classroom filled with beings who made Earth's wildlife seem like amateur hour. On my left was Glorblax, a gelatinous mass that communicated through rhythmic vibrations. On my right was Krill, a creature that resembled a crystalline insect but spoke exclusively in bursts of ultraviolet light. Across the room, Zorak, the self-proclaimed genius of the class, emitted waves of pheromones to express his disdain for us primitive humans. They didn't outright mock me. Too polite for that, but their look said enough. I was the biological equivalent of an outdated relic. And then there was the professor, a towering centipede-like being who had about 12 too many legs and an unnerving knack for silence. Today, she broke that silence with a challenge. Each of you will present an Earth organism. It must be a true species, one that reflects the traits of your home planet. Be creative. Immediately, the aliens began whispering. Glorblax suggested dragons, earning murmurs of approval. Krill flashed something that translated roughly to phoenixes, sparking excitement. Zorak let out an audible wave of smugness. Humans, he pulsed, rely too much on fictional creatures. Their real animals are dull. My turn came faster than I expected. A dozen pairs of alien eyes, compound, luminous, or otherwise, turned to me. Panicking, I blurted out the first thing that came to mind. Hippopotamus. Silence. Dead silence. Even Glorblax seemed to stop vibrating. The what? The professor finally asked, her mandibles clicking together in confusion. The hippopotamus, I repeated, regaining some composure. It's a semi-aquatic mammal from Earth. Very real. Very dangerous. The aliens exchanged puzzled glances, or what I assumed were glances. Zorak emitted a faint, sour pheromone. Dangerous? That thing? It sounds slow. You think so, I said with a smirk. But the hippo is one of the most terrifying creatures on Earth. You'll see. The professor tilted her head, mandibles twitching. Very well. Present your case at our next session. Convince us. As the class filed out, I couldn't help but notice the skeptical glances following me. A gelatinous appendage slapped me on the shoulder. Bold choice, Glorblax hummed. But your Earth creatures have always been too peculiar. Walking back to my dorm, I second-guessed myself a dozen times. I could have picked something flashy, like a tiger or an eagle. But no, I chose the hippopotamus. It wasn't just a random pick, though. Deep down, I knew it would leave an impression, not just because it was real, but because it embodied something uniquely human. This was no longer about passing Galactic Biology 101. This was about proving that Earth and humanity had something extraordinary to offer. Something that could make even the most advanced beings in the universe sit up and take notice. When the day of the presentation arrived, I stood at the front of the class, feeling the weight of every alien gaze fixed on me. With a deep breath, I activated the holographic display, and a 3D image of a hippopotamus appeared, lazily wading in a river. This, I began, gesturing to the floating projection, is the hippopotamus. At first glance, it might not look like much, a plump, slow herbivore lounging in muddy water. But trust me, this creature is one of Earth's most dangerous animals. Let me explain why. The first slide displayed statistics. Despite their seemingly docile appearance, hippos are responsible for more human deaths in Africa annually than lions, crocodiles, or even sharks. Yes, sharks. These gentle giants are anything but gentle. I could see the class's reaction starting to shift. Glorblax's gelatinous surface rippled in what I guessed was nervousness. Zorak, as always, emitted skepticism, though his pheromone trail had lost some of its smugness. I switched to a video clip. On screen, a hippo burst out of the water, charging at a speed no one would associate with its bulk. Hippos can run up to 30 kilometers per hour, I explained. That's faster than most humans. And while they're primarily aquatic, they can chase down threats on land just as easily. The crystalline krill pulsed a series of bright flashes, which my translator helpfully rendered as, "That seems highly inefficient for a herbivore." But it's not, I replied. Their speed and aggression are part of their survival strategy. Hippos are territorial, and their strength is unmatched in their environment. Their jaws can crush a watermelon as easily as you or I could crush a grape. Imagine that strength turned against a predator. Or an unlucky boat. I switched to another image, this time showing the infamous red, oily secretion on a hippo skin. The class collectively recoiled. This, I continued, is often mistaken for blood, but it's actually a natural sunscreen and antibacterial coating. It protects their sensitive skin in the harsh sun and keeps them healthy even in dirty water. Practical and terrifying. Zorak released a sharp burst of sour pheromones. Why would such a creature evolve on a planet teeming with smaller, less aggressive animals? I smiled, ready for this question. Earth's ecosystem is unique. It's chaotic, unpredictable, and filled with competition. The hippo thrives because it can dominate. Crocodiles avoid it. Even lions think twice before approaching a fully grown hippo. It's not just a survivor. It's a ruler of its domain. The final slide was a nighttime shot of hippos grazing far from water, their eyes glowing eerily in the dark. And here's the kicker, I said. Hippos are nocturnal. They feed at night, moving silently despite their size. So, if you ever find yourself near a hippo, it might already be too late. The room fell silent. Glorblax trembled slightly. Krill dimmed its light. Even Zorak's pheromones were subdued. I stepped back, crossing my arms. Still think Earth creatures are dull?